Well, viewers, to start off, now the Kerala Assembly here has unanimously passed a resolution. They have urged the centre to officially change the state's name to Keralam in all languages. The resolution was moved by Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, who said that while the state was commonly called Keralam in Malayalam, it is generally referred to as Kerala in official records and even other languages. Now, during his speech, the Chief Minister also highlighted how the name Kerala was, or rather it originated. He said that the need to form a united Keralam for the Malayalam-speaking communities had strongly emerged since the time of the freedom struggle. But the name was written as Kerala in the first schedule of the constitution. The resolution was accepted by the Congress-led UDF opposition, which did not suggest any sort of amendments or modifications in it. Now, Kerala is set to celebrate Keralam 2013 from the 1st of November. So at this point in time, while we look at all of these developments that are taking place, the question really here is, how does changing of names really make any sort of difference in the state, and why is it so important for the government there at this point in time? Now, we have to talk more about this Vineeta Hariharan from the BJP who is joining us. We have Mithun Vijay Kumar, political analyst as well, Sebastian Paul, our former MP of the CPI, and also Jairaj, political analyst. Before we go to the guests, we have some reactions on this story that's coming up. Let's listen to them first.
हमारा देश में ऑलमोस्ट सब राज्य ही या बहुत बड़ा बड़ा जगह जो पुराना नाम पे बदल रहा है, एक ट्रेंड चल रहा है पूरा देश में। तमिलनाडु हो गया, मद्रास, कलकत्ता, कोलकाता हो गया, और सब हो रहा है सब जगह। तो इसलिए केरला इंग्लिश जो नाम, अंग्रेजी नाम को जो पुराना देशीय नाम है, अपना लैंग्वेज का वो नाम पुराना नाम है, जो पुराना नाम चलता था, उसी को दोबारा वापस लाने के लिए एक प्रयोग चल रहा है। इसमें कोई ऐसा कोई बुरी बात नहीं है।
It has been a long pending demand, and I think we have unanimously passed this resolution, and I hope the central government takes necessary steps to implement it.
उनकी सदन की अगर विषय है और अगर उनके सदन ने प्रस्ताव पास किया तो केंद्र उस पर चिंता कर सकता है। उनकी सदन की अगर विषय है और अगर उनके सदन ने प्रस्ताव पास किया तो केंद्र उस पर चिंता कर सकता है।
Well, Mithun Vijay Kumar, the political analyst, and at this point in time, Jairaj as well with us. Dr. Jairaj, thank you both of you all for joining us on this broadcast. Firstly, I'd like to open this up with Dr. Jairaj. How do you really look at this when you have a name that's being changed? Do you really look at it as sentiment of the people or a move by the government to appeal to the people, or is this the need of the hour?
Actually, the issue is renaming Kerala to Kerala. So it has been, we have to avoid the colonial baggage that has been in our shoulders for long years. So going back, if we change the name of Trivandrum to Thiruvananthapuram, we change the name of Bombay to Mumbai, we change the name of many states, even Madras changed to Chennai. So that is a positive step and a progressive step that taken by the left government. And it is indeed, what can I say about this, more than that, better late than never. It is the thing. So central government will take necessary step to rename. Even the Victoria Terminal Hall, Victoria Hall has changed to Iyengali Hall. Iyengali was a social reformer during the 18th century, and he is coming from a downtrodden. He was a representative of the downtrodden people, and it was renamed to this Iyengali Hall. And a lot of changes are happening everywhere in India. Renaming, it is the main issue is to avoid this, what I said earlier, the colonial baggage from the shoulders of the Indians. And it's a good move, and it is unanimously approved by the ruling Congress as well as the ruling Communist as well as the Congress party in the state. Hello.
Okay. Now, let me in fact take this across to Mr. Mithun as well. Mr. Mithun Vijay Kumar, do you agree with what was said at the moment? Do you feel that this is something that has been on, I mean, there's been talks of this, that it should happen and finally it has materialized? or do you feel that other matters could have taken priority at this point?
See, I believe that the name change is a way of asserting our cultural identity, and I don't think any Malayali would have any issue with the name change. But the Kerala government's decision to change the name of our state at this time doesn't seem to be a very innocent decision. It is, politically motivated, and it's not coming out of a genuine desire to preserve the cultural significance of Kerala or anything like that. And I assume the name change bill is actually a tactic to show that CPM is actually concerned about the cultural aspects of Kerala, because last week they were on the receiving end because the speaker made derogatory remarks about Hindu gods. So this move might be intended to mildly appease the people who stand for culture, and it's actually a perfect decision by their PR team. And to Mr. Jairaj, he was mentioning a lot of name changes. The CPM government actually changed the name of an auditorium inside a temple premise and named it after a Muslim man. So these are the kind of tactics they have employed even from time to time. When they want to attack a particular community, they do that. When they want to appease that community, they will come up with something else. So this is definitely a politically motivated move. And there is nothing wrong with the name change, but the problem is that this particular government is doing it, and we have more pressing issues in the state that needs to be discussed, like the the scam that the government is involved. That almost every scam and every corruption leads to the chief minister's office, and that needs to be discussed, and that is a serious concern in Kerala. The economic development, all these issues must be discussed. But instead of that, if a name change can restore the cultural identity and make Kerala better, I don't think that's the right move at this point.
Okay. I mean, well, completely agreed. Yes, there are multiple names that are changed. There is an issue of, they talk about Tamil pride, they talk about Kannada pride, you're talking about Kerala pride, the pride of the people there, and these sort of name changes probably could add value to that. Mr. Jairaj was talking about an interesting point a little while earlier, where he said move away from the British era, the names that came in during the colonial times. Now, the question here is the BJP also indulged in multiple name changes in different parts of the country, but they became political, Mr. Jairaj. I mean, at that point in time, it said it was trying to appease, the majority community, and that's the reason these name changes happened. But the BJP, even during that time, went ahead and said it was trying to Indianize the names.
Okay, I understood what you have said. The problem is that there is no single representative of BJP in Kerala Assembly, because Kerala is a totally secular place. They have been trying that Hindu-Muslim, rivalry or traditional rivalry. They want to create a rift between the people. But we Hindu, Muslim and Christians all live peacefully in this place. There are very less reported communal problems in the state, just because the state had, from 14th century onwards, when we look in the history, they have trade relations with Rome, trade relations with Middle East countries, trade relations with China, trade relations with, Dutch, Portuguese, and after the British East India Company, the British East India Company, and they came here and ruled us. And the thing is that there is a lot of cultural exchange takes place during
Dr.
that time.
Jairaj,
We have
Vineeta Hariharan from the BJP has just joined us. We'll take this question across to Vineeta Hariharan. Because we were just talking about the proposal by the Kerala government to change this name. How do you really view this as far as the BJP is concerned?
Yeah, so the changing of the name, it requires a lot of approvals and processes, and it has to be, introduced as a bill, and it is the, finally binding.
Well, I believe you've muted yourself. If you could unmute Vineeta and then continue.
Yeah, it's unmuted. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so as far as the name change is concerned, as I said, there's a lot of constitutional approvals that are required, and it's up to the president to accept the views of the assembly or not, and then pass it as a bill if that's the constitutional framework. So it's not so easy to change the name of a state. But as Mr. To give a rebuttal to what Mr. Jairaj was mentioning about BJP being a non-secular party, Mr. Jairaj, for your kind information, BJP is a very, very secular party, and the kind of reforms that that we have got in place for the Muslim community itself, like triple talaq. It was an unimaginable reform that we have got for the women of the Muslim women who are so, emancipated by this particular reform, and the kind of work that we've been doing for the minorities and the kind of support that we've been given for, for the Hajj pilgrims is exemplary. And we do not do appeasement politics. We do not get under duress of any community to pass any reform which is for the benefit of the public at large. And as far as your comment about the secularism of your party is concerned, the IUML, recently we had the slogans of the IUML party workers talking about burning and hanging Hindu temples.
Let's stick to the issue at hand. It's about the change of name. Let's not deviate and talk about which party is more secular.
This point, I have to give a rebuttal to that because he didn't stick to the point of discussion. So as far as the name change is concerned, it requires parliamentary approval, and then it will, as it was mentioned by one of the panelists, it's not the priority of the day because there are a huge number of scams and all of the corruption charges and the safety of the state, which is in the hands of the party, which they need to be, taking cognizance of. And this is absolutely not is a misprioritized, activity that they have undertaken now.
We are not sure if you, initially heard my question when I asked, Dr. Jairaj. The question was that while the BJP made certain changes in the names of certain, cities, because initially the statement was made that, this was a colonial name that came in and that needs to be changed to Keralam right now to bring it a more feel of the state itself, a wholesome feel that where people can relate to it. But when the BJP did it, it was given a political overtone. We also have Mr. Sebastian Paul, former MP from the CPI, as well with us. Let's take his opinion and view as well on this. Mr. Sebastian, this is a move that you have initiated. We have certain political analysts who also say that probably it's not as innocent as it seems. There seems to be a political overtone as well.
I think there is nothing political in it. It is a very innocent or innocuous demand that Keralam is the name we call our state. But Kerala is the name approved and used by for past so many years. Now there is a demand is overdue that the state's name should be changed to Keralam, as we call it in our language. But the state legislature is not competent enough to change the name. It has to get the parliamentary approval and president's assent. But the Kerala legislature and the Kerala government is competent enough, and it is right on their part to demand such thing, and it is for the parliament to consider that request.
Okay. Now, while of course we are talking about the change of name, we've had the opinions of all the panelists who are here. We have another, issue from Kerala which needs to be spoken about as well. Now, over the past few days, Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has been very vocal about certain issues, including his opposition to UCC and even the name change. But the left leader has been caught unawares about an alleged scam rocking his house. The income tax body has ruled that the Chief Minister's daughter, Mithun Vijay, received about 1.72 crore from a private company over a period of 3 years in lieu of services. But as per the income tax body, no services were provided by the Chief Minister's daughter's company, and funds were transferred considering her relationship with a prominent person. Now, the opposition here is expected to even raise this issue in the ongoing assembly. While we look at all of these, the question really lies as to whether graft is the first issue that the CPM should probably look into, because it seems like time and again it comes back to haunt the Chief Minister himself directly. Mr. Sebastian.
No, the scam is nothing new as far as we are concerned. All sorts of allegations are made against the daughter of the Chief Minister and even the Chief Minister himself. It is only natural. Those scams can break out at any time. But today's news, it was a finding of the Income Tax Interim Settlement Board. That means it is something serious. And I think the Chief Minister himself will give an explanation. That explanation has not come till now, but it should come, because the allegation is not only a mere allegation, but it is a finding of a statutory board. So I think it will be explained properly.
Well, but Mr. Sebastian, you're downplaying it. It is indeed a big issue. It may be new or old, but there is some answering that needs to be done. While, of course, you're looking at other aspects of changing names, you're looking at tapping into, the sentiments of the people of Kerala, but giving clean governance is also something that's the sole aim, and, there's something that every government should do, and especially the Chief Minister, because time and again it comes back, to haunt him, especially graft.
Well, we don't know. Only this morning, a Malayalam newspaper published that story. And on that basis, I am unable to give any explanation. Explanation as said by the party General Secretary, Siddhara Yechury in Delhi. That should be properly explained by the party and the Chief Minister himself locally. And we are all expecting for that, waiting for that.
Okay, let's bring in the BJP as well. What's the BJP's take in all of this? Vineeta?
No, it's absolutely scandalizing to see the case report. I read the 72-page case report just now, and the kind of facts that have been disclosed. It's a clear conflict of interest, and a clear case of a hafta given to the government for the smooth functioning of the company Cochin Minerals Rutile Limited, which was actually using ilmenite as a raw material and which caused environmental, impact, and for which they had to bribe certain officials for the smooth running of their business operations, which is a clear case of a conflict of interest and against the ethics of public policy, as the report has also stated. So, and also they've had, they've unearthed these kind of notes from the CFO's house, which is in the loft of the house of the CFO, and they had the initials written as to whom the payments were made. And the CFO has also claimed, Mr. Suresh Kumar, he has claimed the initials, the expansion of the initials to be Pinarayi, Vijayan, A. Govindan, K. Kunyali Kuti. All of these names have been unearthed. So it's a huge scam that needs to be investigated thoroughly. And it has already been unearthed, and there has to be an independent investigation on this entire case, which is a clear-cut case of bribing public officials for smooth functioning of businesses. And 1.72 crores, which has gone to this company Exalogic, which the daughter of the CM runs. It's 1.72 crores is totally unaccounted, and the services rendered have not been justified at all, has not been validated by the CFO himself. So what else evidence do we need to go against this particular government for this huge amount of graft, as you call it? So I mean, this is not the first of the scams that have been unearthed. There are several such scams that have come in the past, and therefore this government has to be completely, it has to be reviewed in terms of ethics, in terms of governance, and the way it is functioning in terms of also the kind of brute force that they use for functioning of private companies, which is why so many private companies are leaving Kerala. Why aren't private companies, industrialists flourishing in Kerala? We had the recent example of the company that left for Telangana, so and they were given a warm welcome in Telangana. So this is how Kerala treats its own.
Vineeta, I believe my colleague Neha is with us. Let's quickly get an update from what's happening in Kerala. Neha, what's the latest that's coming in? What's the plan of the opposition as far as this issue is concerned? Well, we seem to have lost her. Before we get back to her, let's bring in Jairaj as well. Dr. Jairaj, you were making a point earlier when we were speaking about the name change, how important is it? Now, when you talk about graft charges, when you look at it politically, especially in Kerala, this is an issue that has been coming back, and there has been opposition which has been targeting Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, his family members, but somewhere answers seem to be very less in terms of what they have done, what they will do to fix these sort of issues, because here you have a very serious charge. You have about 1.72 crore over the past about 3 years being paid and no services being provided. So where is the money that's being paid going, and why is it being paid?
Actually, regarding a lot of mudslinging campaign has been there for the last few years. I mean, last 10 years against the Chief Minister and Chief Minister's family. One of them is a building. I mean, a big mansion in the name of, this is the Chief Minister's house. But actually, it was an NRI's house. It was not Chief Minister's house. That was circulated in the almost all the campaigns in Facebook, WhatsApp, everywhere. And later it was found out to be an NRI's house. And next thing was Pinarayi Vijayan, the Chief Minister of Kerala's wife, is running a company in Singapore named Kamala International. Her name is Kamala. but there is no such company in Singapore. Later, it was proved that there was no such company named Kamala International, and that also went out. And next, nowadays, they are targeting his wife, daughter and son-in-law together in all these alleging all these graft charges against her. Actually, Veena Vijayan, the daughter of Pinarayi Vijayan, is an IT professional. Her company is Exalogic, and this 1.72 crore received to the company is only 55 lakh rupees was given for 3 years as salary of this IT professional for rendering her services there in that company. That is the thing happened. And the whole sum of 1.72 crores is the company's profit. And it has to be divided with the employees according to the company. And the later things, any other things are there. I'm not sure about all the other parts. And like Dr. Sebastian Paul mentioned here, he will explain, the Chief Minister himself explain in the floor or in the public. And he's always transparent about when coming into this type of allegations. He has been hunted for years and years in the public domain regarding one and another graft
Corruption
cases.
allegations against the Chief Minister or his family or any of his relatives. Do you feel that he's come out and explained himself in the floor of the House, given a rational explanation to it? Satisfactory one?
Yes, sure. We are transparent. And we don't have anything to hide. He always says that we don't have anything to hide. So he will explain it in the public, and we are waiting for that. Everyone is waiting for that, his explanation.
No, I was asking Mr. Mithun.
Hello?
Mr. Mithun, go ahead.
I didn't hear your question. Can you come again?
When you had Dr. Jairaj go ahead and say that usually you have the Chief Minister of Kerala who comes out and explains himself when there are graft allegations. Have you seen this as a pattern?
See, before coming to that, I would like to give a one-line reply to Mr. Jairaj for his Kerala is secular comment, right? He said on this show that, Kerala is the only secular state and that's why BJP is not in power. So Mr. Jairaj actually insulted the people who voted BJP to power. And does he mean that, only people from Kerala are secular and those from other states are communal? Now, coming to your question, like I already said, Kerala is perhaps the only state in India where every corruption case leads to the Chief Minister's office. And Chief Minister, I have never seen him giving any explanation to any of those scams, be it the dollar scam, PPE kit scam, gold smuggling, then coming to the lower category of mismanagement like spousal appointments in government institutions, pension fraud, and the list is very long and worrying. And I have never heard any explanations coming from the Chief Minister's office with respect to that. So let's not expect that this time also he's going to speak up. And now, like you mentioned, the income tax department has named the CM's daughter and her company in this major financial scandal involving a private company named CMRL. It's not BJP or it's not any other entity. It's the income tax department itself. And they are saying that they have enough evidence. And the allegation is that, Veena and her company were paid a large sum of money for doing nothing. So, and there is also an allegation that, there's the allegation of tax evasion, illegal payments to political leaders, bureaucrats, media houses. All this has to be investigated. And this is a clear abuse of power and betrayal of the public trust by CPM government. See, this government is actually rotten to the core. It is becoming a family business where the government is, using all the wealth and all the resources to enrich the families of CPM leaders. I'm coming to a
close here. I have very little time. I want to take an update. Meanwhile, I'm thanking all our panelists for joining us today. I'm also going to go across to my colleague Neha, who has an update from Kerala. Neha, what are we picking up on the latest as far as the opposition and how they want to take up this issue of the Chief Minister's daughter involved in this entire issue? Well, Neha, if you could hear me, what are we picking up as far as the opposition's plan to raise this issue? Okay, we'll try and get Neha back. We are going to now slip into a very quick break. News and updates continue on the other side. Don't go anywhere.